defensive line show. They had great defense. They won on defense, special teams, offense, coaching. They won in every aspect of that game. Urban Meyer.
This little blue stripe right there, and I always like the relics with the nice blue, with the nice stripe down them.
Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be previewing and predicting the New Year's Six Bowls for college football. If you are unaware of the New Year's Six Bowls, it is the 6 biggest bowl games with top teams in college football. Most of these teams ranked in the top 10. Only one is not ranked in the top 10. These are the best teams from the Power 5 conferences. One Group of 5 conference, the one with the best record and highest ranking, that won their Group of 5 conference. The rest of these are Power 5 conferences, the best of the best in college football facing off in these. The different New Year's Six Bowls are the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, Rose Bowl, All-State Sugar Bowl, Capital One Orange Bowl, and the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, the Orange Bowl and Cotton Bowl. The hosts of 2 college football playoff semifinals, so those will be the 2 that go last. So we're going to get straight into this and previewing and predicting these bowl games. First, we're going to go with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl. Number 10, Florida playing number 7, Michigan. These two teams very familiar with each other. Michigan with a nice win last season over the Florida Gators. The last 2 times these two teams have met, Michigan has won those 2 meetings. But Michigan, let's take a look at their stats first. Karen Higdon, 1,178 rushing yards this season. But Florida only allowing 166 rushing yards per game. So Florida, a strong run defense. Michigan with only 214.3 rushing yards per game. So that strong run defense of Florida, I think that they can handle Michigan up front. On the run, Florida allowing 173.1 passing yards per game. Michigan with 212.9 passing yards per game. So I think Florida can contain them on the ground. And Michigan a weakness through the air, but both their run and pass games have been very complementary of each other. So if Florida can contain Michigan on the ground, they're going to have to contain them through the air as well. But I don't think Michigan is going to have such a strong of a pass game as they are of a run game. So I think Florida stopping that run game in this contest is going to be huge for them. And, of course, the last 2 meetings between these 2 teams have gone to Michigan, but Michigan coming off that bad loss to Ohio State. Ohio State was 8th in offensive efficiency. The 2 best teams Michigan has faced all season, Notre Dame and Ohio State, they got beat by Ohio State was 8th in offensive efficiency. So I don't know about that number 1 defense thing, because Notre Dame, they were 25th in offensive efficiency this season. They were able to beat Michigan. Ohio State 8th in offensive efficiency, put up 62 on that quote-unquote best defense. So I don't think they've been tested. They have been tested, but they haven't passed that test, and I think they don't pass the test. This is going to be a pick unpopular by a lot of people that are Michigan fans. Anybody that's not rooting for Florida, I think you can argue with this pick, but I'm picking number 10 Florida to win this game over the Wolverines. Next, we're going to have the PlayStation Fiesta Bowl, 11th ranked LSU and 8th ranked Central Florida UCF, as they mostly go by. But for LSU, they have no Greedy Williams, one of the best players on this defense, defensive back, preparing for the NFL draft. They do have linebacker Devin White, though. But missing one of those big guys for LSU that could put LSU in a sleeper spot where UCF in a backup quarterback position. But they also have that missing defensive back. UCF's going to come in with a lot of momentum. 25-game win streak for UCF. And UCF with 196.2 passing yards allowed per game, 214.7 passing yards per game for LSU. So through the air, I don't expect LSU to go through the air and succeed a lot. 268.9 passing yards per game for UCF, 174.7 rushing yards per game for LSU. So LSU's going to have to go, in my opinion, through the air to beat UCF. I don't think they can do it. UCF, they haven't been tested. LSU's going to get some success through the air, but not as much as many people are going to think. I think UCF's going to come in with that chip on their shoulder in this game. And then they don't have that backup game on the ground. And UCF, they're going to have to go through the air to win this game. It's going to be a very tough, hard-fought battle, but without that leader in the secondary, I think UCF can have some success through the air. Just enough success to pull away with the victory. They defeated Auburn last season. And LSU's coming off a 7 overtime loss. That sour taste in their mouth. They're going to come in wanting to get that out of their mouth, but I think UCF is going to do the same thing they did to Auburn. I've got UCF, another unpopular pick by many people, but I got UCF winning the Fiesta Bowl, extending the win streak to 26 games. Next, we have the Rose Bowl, number 6 Ohio State, who I believe should have made the playoff, but they finished behind Georgia. That's, I think, what is leaving the sour taste in Ohio State's mouth as they take on number 9 Washington, the Pac-12 champion and the Big Ten champion. Rose Bowl returning to tradition, with both of these teams missing out on the playoffs. Washington with 3 losses, Ohio State with only 1 this season that came to Purdue early. This is Urban Meyer's last game with the Ohio State Buckeyes, so he's going to come in wanting to win this game. The players are going to come in wanting to win it for their coach. His last game, Ryan Day coming in to replace him. Washington has lost 2 ranked games this season to Oregon and Auburn. Ohio State 5 ranked wins this season, including Michigan State, Northwestern, Michigan, TCU, and Penn State. Those are the Ohio State's 5 ranked wins. Washington with 185.4 passing yards allowed per game, so they've been nice through the air. This good Washington secondary, but 373 passing yards per game for the Ohio State Buckeyes. I think that their game through the air is going to be too much for Washington secondary to handle. I think Dwayne Haskins has another big day. Proves to those NFL scouts, if he indeed is going to the draft, he's going to prove to those NFL scouts that he can have those big games in these big-time moments. Ohio State wins the Rose Bowl over Washington. Next, we have the All-State Sugar Bowl. We've got number 5, Georgia, taking on number 15, Texas. Georgia, only a 7-point game to Alabama. Controlled that game the entire time against the Crimson Tide with 4 ranked wins this season. The Georgia Bulldogs have 2 ranked losses for the Texas Longhorns coming against Oklahoma, although they did beat Oklahoma, and West Virginia. Georgia with 227.2 passing yards per game, 265.2 passing yards allowed per game on the Texas side. Jake Fromm is going to lead this air attack, and Georgia's going to win with passing as much of these other New Year's Six bowl games are going to be won through the air in the era of quarterbacks in college football. Now it's time for the college football playoff. First, we're going to go with 1 and 4. The Capital One Orange Bowl, number 1 Alabama taking on number 4 Oklahoma. Alabama with 527.6 yards per game. They are second in defensive efficiency. Oklahoma with 448.1 yards allowed per game. So their defense not able to stop out many teams in getting yards. So Alabama's going to have a big day on the scoreboard, in my opinion. Oklahoma first in offensive efficiency, though, but their defense gave up 56 points to West Virginia. Oklahoma hasn't faced a real big test. They've had some tests. They had West Virginia, which they won a 3-point game, 59-56. They defeated Texas and lost to Texas, so not very many big tests for Oklahoma this season. They have definitely not had a test like Alabama's defense, second in defensive efficiency. Oklahoma, though they're first in offensive efficiency, I think this is going to be like an Ohio State and Michigan game. Oklahoma hasn't seen a defense like Alabama's. I think they're going to crack under pressure. Alabama, in my opinion, is going to the national championship to face the winner of the Goodyear Cotton Bowl. Notre Dame, number 3, taking on Clemson, number 2. Clemson, with Dexter Lawrence suspended, one of the most important piece of that defensive line for Clemson. Now it's in the hands of Christian Wilkes to lead this defensive line against that strong Notre Dame offense, the resurgent Notre Dame Fighting Irish, with Dexter Williams and Ian Book in the backfield. Notre Dame with 198 passing yards allowed per game. Clemson 270.1 passing yards per game. Notre Dame's rush defense has been pretty good. Clemson has 2 ranked wins this season, only against NC State and Boston College. So they have had somewhat of a test, you can call it. But Notre Dame, their best win, Michigan. That's a pretty good win. But it was with Brandon Wimbush as the quarterback for Notre Dame. So Ian Book hasn't been really tested yet. I think Ian Book cracks under pressure. Dexter Lawrence finally gets... He's led this team all season, but I think that Notre Dame is going to slow down Trevor Etienne in the backfield, and Trevor Lawrence is going to be the one with the big day for Clemson. The 2-seed Clemson wins in a close one. We get Alabama and Clemson 1 versus 2 in a third rematch to decide who really is the better program. That's going to end it for the New Year's Six preview and predictions video. Thank you so much for watching this. Don't forget, if you subscribe to the channel, you are entered in the giveaway for these 50th anniversary Royals commemorative baseball. Winner is announced on January 1st. So somebody's going to be ringing in the new year with a new baseball in their collection, if they don't have a collection. Nice place to start, that Royals commemorative baseball. And remember, if you are subscribed, make sure your subscriptions are made public so that I can see you are subscribed to the channel. If your subscriptions are private, I cannot see that you are subscribed, so make sure they're public so I can see to enter the giveaway for the Royals commemorative baseball. And until next time, again, thank you for watching this video. Leave your comments down below on your thoughts on my predictions.